Welcome to this channel and thank you very much guys. We are on our journey to 5,000 subscribers. I go through the feedback guys and your feedback is just amazing. I know there are still issues, but of course I'll try my best as we move towards everything will just look better. But there is also the interest of time. Now, I opined in this video about the elections law, and I actually analyzed about the radical changes that were in that proposed law by Amos Kimunya. But then after that, I think we saw an uproar from both UDA and Raila Odinga's camp coming out to oppose that electoral law, especially something specifically on the electronic transmission of the presidential results. Now, I asked people in this channel, guys, why do you think that Raila and Uhuru were quick to oppose that, or rather to reject that bill? And when I saw it, I think I read something sinister, because the person who that bill was directly affecting was actually Raila Odinga. William Ruto flew from Dubai and came to Kenya. And in his first rally, I think the first speech that he was doing in Voi before heading to Kilifi, he took better part of this day talking about how Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga are the people proposing that bill to make sure that they manipulate the elections. And I cannot blame William Ruto for that. I think in a political space, that can be the best understanding that William Ruto can take. Now, in this video, I am going to analyze on something, an observation that I made. And I made in relation to that bill. Guys, let me ask you a question. Do you think, or rather let me also make it clear first, Raphael Tuju, who is the Jubilee Secretary General, have come out and mentioned that unlike what was initially announced, or what was initially made public, that the bill was proposed by the state, the issue of stop to electronic transmission of results was proposed by IEBC. It was too late to come and say that, because I don't think Kenyans really had an issue with whoever proposed it. In plain black and white, the bill was flat, and that was deemed to fail. Why do you think that Raila came out to reject that bill quickly? First, let me make it clear here, guys, that of the essence to that bill, something that was clear in that bill was that it had some sinister motive. The timing was wrong, and also the issue of the transmission was wrong. My reason why Raila Odinga came very quick, and actually I think he just intervened before that went far, I have a reason. But before I say that, can you ask yourself this question? Do you think Amos Kimunya had not shared a copy of this bill with Junet Mohammed? Or let us ask plainly, do you think Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta had not seen that bill? They knew. But then they tried also, the ODM team tried to play a surprise card, feeling like they also didn't know of that move. Guys, if you're watching this video for the first time, kindly take a second and subscribe. And more importantly, also click the notification bell so that you can always get the feedback. More importantly, also give us your feedback in the comment section. That issue of the transmission, first it was plain, flat. That was deemed to fail. One of the reasons why I think he also might have seen it, because it was touching on I think Article 33 and 34. 33 is on the freedom of media, and 34 is access to information. So this one, even Media Council was going to walk to court and oppose that. Secondly, the civil society, it was going to set up Raila against the civil society. It was setting up Raila against the media. So even before you come to the political crucifixion. Thirdly, or rather secondly, I also think that that bill was crucifying Raila Odinga, because the way it was captured by the headlines in the mainstream, it was trying to show that we are trying to revert back to 2007. And in this country, when you mention 2007, something that clicks in people's mind is post-election violence. So blatantly, Kenyans were made to understand that, you know what, the August general election are really going to be manipulated, and is going to be manipulated in favor of Raila Odinga. This is a narrative that you can give to UDA team. William Ruto ran with this successfully, and this one was sinking. That Uhuru is committed to hand over power to Raila Odinga. And you know, it was coming amidst a heated debate on Raila Odinga as a state project. So 2 days before, the 3 rallies of Kenya Kwanza are all about Raila being a state project. Then, when that conversation is just gaining momentum, you again bring such a bill that seems to confirm that. I think that move first was very sinister. But I want you to get the catch here. And I want us to move a little bit above the average reasoning. If someone is listening to this video and someone is close to the UDA team, they have won the public debate on the merit of that case, of the merit of that amendment. But there is a catch that they are missing. What I think, guys, this bill was a trap. It was a trap because, let me use a cuboid to explain. In a cuboid, there is a cross-section part, the part that even if you chop it off, you still remain with the shape of a cuboid. You understand? So, the cross-section of that bill was on the result transmission. But the catch is on the complementary voter identification. And I want us to look there. According to UDA, they have come out blatantly to oppose everything in that bill. And that is their undoing. Can you listen to a speech? I think this is by Kipchumba Murkomen. He was addressing a rally, I think in Kajiado, if I'm not wrong.
Wale ndugu zetu walipoona earthquake ameshikana na hasla na weta wamekuja ndani, wameona tumeshinda kwa 70+1. Sasa wamebabaika, earthquake imewashake. Sasa wameleta sheria kwa bunge ati tubadilishe sheria ndio tuhakikishe tumeondoa ile inaitwa biometric system, ndio watoe wale watu washakufa kwa register, wahakikishe wamepiga kura. Ati wahakikishe ya kwamba tukipiga kura tupige kwa giza, ili kwamba wabadilishe ile results yenye mwenye amepata A waweke kwa B, kwa sababu wameona kwamba hawatashinda kura, wanataka kurudisha Kenya kwa 2007 2008. Sisi tumesema hiyo haitawezekana.
I want the pro-UDA team to get an understanding here. Let them not have this obsession of opposing everything wholesomely just for the case of staging a competition with Azimio la Umoja. This was a trap to them. In that bill, there was something in that box, and that was the manual transmission, the manual voter identification. They've come out to publicly oppose that bill wholesomely. But the issue of the transmission, for me, it's an average thinking that even class 5 pupil will know that, okay, this is not right. this is something that even in town, boda bodas can wake up the next day and carry tweaks and say haki yetu. But the gist is on the manual voter identification. They've come out to oppose it. But let me tell you why, for me, it is the loophole that if deep state was going to manipulate the poll, it can be used. Now, this is what can happen. The reason why this bill, this clause was being introduced to allow for that complementary voter identification is because, two reasons. One, the government is not going to buy new kits. The KIMS kits that we used in 2017 are the ones that are going to be used. And that is the law accepts. Secondly, Ezra Chiloba, who is in charge of Communications Authority, have advised the state that there are some areas that do not have access to 3G. And for us to see loopholes and allow for everyone to come out and vote, let's accept the manual voter registration, the manual voter identification. So, in any case, they are not going to accept and say exclusive electronic, and that was the trap. The KIMS kit might be distributed discriminatory. If the state wants to manipulate the polls, as they are saying, they can make sure that pro-Raila areas, the KIMS kit are working. But then take all the faulty KIMS kits and take to pro-Ruto areas, so that if they don't work, they won't vote. Who is going to lose? Secondly, and this one cuts across the political divide. In 2022, we are going to see a low voter turnout. Whatever we are seeing at the registration here is going to be a replica of what we're going to see on August 8. I'm not spelling a doom, but just looking at the political mood, the rallying call by the politicians seem to be ascending to power on revenge mission. Everyone wants to get to power. Raila wants to get so that he can block Ruto, and now it seems there are some people that have now decided it's Raila's time. Ruto is also on a revenge attack that, you know what, I have been blocked by the state. So that rallying call, the issue of the economy for me is not the call here. And if it is economy, I don't think it's a revolution. Revolution and economy is not. The only one that works with the revolution is, let's say, to revive the economy, but not a revolution. So, if they will allow for manual voter identification, it was going to maximize on the number of voters that will turn up to go and vote. Because if someone is not, the few that are going to turn up, the turn up, according to me, is not going to be above 50%. So the highest will be 45. The 45% turnout, if they will be walking there and the KIMS kit are not working, they will walk home. So what the UDA team could have done to, instead of just getting to this trap, is go back and look at that document. Don't just run away. Don't just run and go to the street and start opposing. Look at that document. The issue of the live transmission, that will be struck. That is plain. That is not an issue even to discuss. But on the manual voter identification, go back. If there is this issue of ghost voters waiting to go and vote and come back, if the manual is there, but you also have party agents, invest so that you'll have party representatives in every polling station. Also, the election observers are there, and I think one of the biggest jokes is election observers. Those guys don't do anything constructive. It is just another mission. It is just for formality. Invest on the polling stations so that you prevent these ghost voters from coming to go and vote and go back to the graves. And so my guys, this bill, Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta knew what was in this bill. They presented it. The face value was, it was going to face rejection. Now, if it is rejected, they'll revert back. And if they want to manipulate, all the faulty KIMS kits can be distributed discriminatory. Or even the 3G network, they can make sure that the areas that are pro the competitor are not connected. well, then with that, they shall actually have manipulated the polls. So I think that was my analysis. But again, Raila Odinga also came out to reject it because it was going to crucify him on the merit of the cause, because it was going to propagate the fact that he is a state project, and all these are done to make sure that he ascends to power. Thank you, guys. And what are your opinion on this?